All right, we're gonna get started. Good morning. How's everybody doing today? Very good. I want to start, as we always do, with our wins that we had yesterday. Shout outs where we saw our team values exhibited. So what happened yesterday that you guys can comment on? And anybody here in the office with me will probably have to come a little bit closer to the monitor to talk. I don't know if the microphone will pick you up. Okay.
Wins, right?
Yeah, wins or shout outs. Go ahead.
Win for me is that I got a potential co-listing and 2 possible appointments yesterday.
Wow, great job on that. Okay.
I had my license posted last night.
Woohoo!
So
She's official.
I'm official. I can go and do the W card
Okay.
stuff now. So
She can go on appointments and do all
I
kinds of
know,
stuff.
I'm
So
excited.
she's ready. Okay. Who else had any wins or shout outs?
My property appraised yesterday, so that was great. We're moving forward. We can lift the contingencies of both the inspection and the appraisal today. So
Congratulations. That's great too. Okay. Anybody else? And then we'll get started. We got one more.
Can you guys hear me?
Go ahead. We can hear you.
Oh, I got an appointment for tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. So win for me.
For listing or what?
Yeah, listing.
Okay.
Yep.
And you did another appointment for later this month, right? How much is that one for?
8.75 million.
Very good. So
Yep.
wins.
Yep.
Okay. All right, let's jump into it here then. You guys can see the screen here?
Yep.
All right, now if you have your computers up, go ahead and pull those out. But what I want to talk about today is entering our goals into Brivity, okay? And putting those in there so we can monitor those and then we can track our progress throughout the year for our economic plans that we made. So first off, you guys have all seen this sheet before, right? On your goal setting. This is where we go through and we put in, how many people we're going to get from past client, how many from open houses, how many from circle prospecting, canceled, door knocking, whatever those are. And then as we scroll down, it'll tell us how many calls we need to make. So this is the first step we have to do. And I'll be reviewing this with the folks that we just went through this with last week, either later today or tomorrow. And RJ will do yours online because I'm not going to come see you. Okay.
All right.
COVID. All right. But this is the first step that we do. Now, after that, then you're going to go to your dashboard, go down to where it says settings. Does everybody see your settings if you got your computer open there? Okay. And then you're going to go up to where it says goals. Okay. And you're going to click on that. Okay. When you click on that, you're going to see this screen pop up. Oh. Actually, it's a little bit different than the one I just had up, but essentially it's going to have your goals over here where you can input all your goals that you'll have to input. And down at the bottom, it'll break it down to for sale by owner calls, expired calls, circle prospecting, all those different dials. You can track it here so you can make certain that you're on goal. Okay. Now that's all pretty straightforward. Now let's go into what that kind of looks like. Whoop, I lost my screen there. Good morning. Okay, on this right here, you'll put your goals in here. And then some of this you can get off of your reporting data when you come in here, because it'll show you your dials and stuff on the side here. And you can just move these or input those over to it. Other ones like Mojo, when you go into Mojo, if you're using a Mojo dialer, remember some of the other teams have different ways that they prospect, so they may not use Mojo, but for us, we'll sign on and then we'll go to reporting. We'll find the agent. And Elaine, did you use Mojo yesterday?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
I called expireds.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and click here, and then I'll go to the date. I'll go for the 11th, and down at the bottom, it'll give me the number of dials for Mojo. Now, let's say that we called for sale by owners for the first hour from 9 until 10, and then from 10 to noon, we called expired/canceled, okay? We can find that out by going over here and see your time frame on the right-hand side. So you can actually see the times that you were actually on the phone, and you can always change this to, instead of showing just 10, you can actually show 100 at a time. So you can actually map that out as far as how many actual dials you made. The other thing great about Mojo too is when you go into, you click on result, and anybody that you actually had a contact with, go to your notes, and a lot of times you're going to have notes in there like set appointment or whatnot, and you can quickly find what that was, or if it was a contact, you can put it here too. Okay. So this way you can go very quickly and find out who you want to add to Brivity to keep engaged in your database. All right. Now, once we input that data into it, into our dashboard here, then what happens is we're going to go through and also input it on our life plan that we've got as far as what we did for the week. So when we come in on for our weekly review, we actually can tell everyone, this was my goal to call 20 Sphere, and I called 18. On my Brivity lead calls, instead of 20, I called 24. On my 40 for sale by owners, I called 10 instead of 40. I did 1 open house and 1 Florida. Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
And then also same kind of thing on expired. So you can actually see where you are. Now we're getting ready to go into week 2. So we're actually going to be reporting week 2 numbers. And I'll talk about 15th protocol next week. But with this part right here is on our weekly check-in, we're going to bring the results to that call or that meeting and see where we are. And that gives us a group accountability. And it's not to point fingers and say, well, you didn't do what you're supposed to do. It's actually something where it helps us, because when we say we're going to do something like, hey, we're going to lose so much in weight, or I'm going to go mow the grass. I mean, there's accountability with that. So we want to have that accountability for us so that it's not to us, because it's amazing. We are more likely to break a promise to ourselves than to somebody else. Can everybody identify with that? If you make a promise to your spouse or your kids or a friend, you will break your neck doing that. But if you make a promise to yourself, you're going, it's not that big of a deal.
Yep.
Okay. So this is why we do the group accountability. Now, what we'll do is when we look at those results is what needs improvement to make those goals that we set. Is it maybe we need to get better at scripts to make the appointments? Is it time blocking where we just didn't time block enough time to it? Is it just focus where we time blocked the time, but we got sidetracked with other little things rather than just making those calls that we needed to make to actually get the business that we needed? And then after we look at that, then we're going to say, all right, what changes are to be made, and then commit to that plan. And we all sit there and leave that with a plan so that we correct it, so that next week we have a much different result and we're back on track for what we need. Now, everybody kind of heard me touch on the 15th protocol. Now, the 15th protocol is the middle of the month where we're looking at our results. And based on that, if we're not halfway to our goal or better, then we need to implement that. And the 15th protocol is a strategy for having preset actions that will immediately go into effect on that 15th of the month if we're not at least halfway there. And it's going to be different for each one of the goals we have. If it's open houses, then it's say I've got to double up my open houses, maybe do them during the week on an afternoon. Maybe I use floor duty for an open house. Whatever that is, I need to do that. So I'm making those. And then while I'm there, I'm going to focus on calling those for sale by owners or calling those expired or calling my sphere so I get the appointments I want. But this is the aspect of it that is really important, that gets you back on track so you don't get at the end of the month and say, it's okay, we're going to make it up next month. And then next month comes by and guess what? February is just really, really cold. It's snowy, it's raining, the roads closed down, you know, for 3, 4, 5 days. So we can't do open houses or we can't get out. And then nobody really wants to do anything, or we have power outages. And now we've got 2 months that we're behind on now. So we don't want to sit there and have that add up. And then we're trying to dig from a hole. And then by June, we're saying, well, we're not going to make it this year. Okay. It's like anything else. It requires a lot of course corrections. When they shot the rocket ship off to the moon, there was 1,000 different course corrections, because if they were off just a minute amount, they would have ended up missing the moon totally. And that's why they do these course corrections. It's the same kind of thing as why we look at our plans each week so that we can maintain those. So give me your thoughts on this, or anything that you guys, has anybody started putting in their goals yet?
Yep. Weekly, I think I did.
Okay, so we've got them in our 2023 plan. So now we can start putting them into Brivity. Now on that, if you need another category listed, such as handwritten cards or something that's not maybe normally on there, or maybe it's a networking event you're going to be doing, let us know so we can add those to it. So you'll have it too. All right. I think that'll help, because I want to make certain that I want you guys to try all the different lead generation types. And then after you've tried them going through launch, then you can focus on the ones that you're most successful at. I do not want you to sit there and focus on 8 different lead generation types. In the beginning, I want you to try each one of them to see how well you adapt to them. Then after that, I want you to focus on just 3 that you're really going to build your business on. Does that make sense? Because that way you can get really good at those 3 rather than just being kind of okay on 8 of them. Because it's really tough to be successful when you're just okay on stuff and not really excel upon it. It's just like, I'm going to concentrate on being the quarterback or the wide receiver. And if you're trying to be all those things, you're just not going to make any teams in. And that's what we're going to do, is we want to see you be successful. Okay. Elaine, when you're starting to put your goals in there, what type of things did you run into, or was it pretty easy to do?
I mean, it was fairly easy just because I had been doing the calls and I had a good idea of, you know, what was doable with my schedule. So I just kind of factored in, you know, what my average was the last month, and then made a realistic goal. And then obviously I'll be tweaking it, you know, here and there, but it's good to have a baseline.
Okay. Very good. And then how do you input those? Are you doing it at the end of the week, doing each day, or still kind of learning that process as far as what's going to work for you?
Still learning the process. When I put it into Brivity originally, you add the numbers in. Let's say if I did 50 calls one day, I accidentally went in the next day and added another 50 calls or whatever the number was.
Mhm.
But I thought we had to add them first from the previous day before we enter them in. I didn't know that it adds them in for you, that it's kind of like a continuous. So I had to tweak the numbers there a little bit.
Okay.
If you put in 50 on Monday and then you go back and you do 50 calls on Tuesday,
Mhm.
you can just put the 50 calls on Tuesday and it'll add it for you in there.
Very good. Okay. That's a good share. Thank you for that. Okay. Any other comments on putting in your Brivity goals and also your results to track your success?
I put some in, let's see, end of year. So it's, you know, it just says a little bit of it. You have to just commit to get those numbers right.
Mhm.
And then it'll start becoming a better tool. But if you kind of forget to keep updating it, it'll just be frustrating every time you get on there.
Yeah, it will. Okay, I want to show you one other thing you guys are going to have access to after you start getting your numbers in there is you're going to be able to go to your settings here. Or on your dashboard anyway. And you'll see all your results up here, and you will actually have a financial dashboard too. And I'll show you more of that later on. Okay. And that's why we're doing this, is so you can actually see those numbers pop up on the financial side. Okay. All right. Give me a couple gratitudes and we're going to sign off and get going for the day.
Where
You
are
guys
our
hear me?
girls?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Oh, did they?
Yeah. I actually reached someone that's interested possibly coming to Jana's home buyer seminar at the end of the month. So
Okay.
I hope I can reel him in.
That'll be a good one. And then also that may be something that we add to if we're going to do home buyer seminars. So we can actually post those for the month too. And as always, I'll have this recorded and I'll put it on our Tennessee Power Up channel too. Hey, Robbie, great to see you. How's your new year starting?
It's great, man. I'm a whole year older. So I'm so much wiser than I was, last year.
Aren't we all?
Hey, Robbie,
Yes, ma'am.
are you ready for the airplane ride to Palm Springs?
I am. I've never been to California. Super excited. I think last year I wanted to back out. I tried my best to not go to Phoenix, and this year I've already started booking things. So there's a lot of value in those Built How conferences, guys. If you've never been, this is the first time I've tried to get one of my team members to go as well, just because I think it would be very helpful to him, and also he'd get to see people that have been teaching these classes. Him and Anthony Zapata talk a lot, so it'd be great for him to see him as well. So hopefully you guys are able to come out.
Yeah, Robbie is our partner, guys, over in Knoxville too. All right, got a lot of new agents here on the call today.
Oh, fantastic. That's awesome, guys. Well, you couldn't have found a better place, and we love representing for Tennessee. So I think we're I think we were the second state to install a statewide place call. It's really good for referrals, guys, so we can see your faces. So I know a lot of people don't have cameras on, but it makes our agents feel more comfortable about giving referrals. Like RJ, looking baller. Like I see RJ's face and I know, okay, if I need to refer something, I've seen RJ, and so I'm more comfortable with referring something out to RJ if that was who I was giving the referral to, just because I can see your face.
That's a great point too. All right. I will let you guys go. We're going to wrap it up. Oh, one more gratitude. Get one more.
I'll do a gratitude.
Okay.
A backhanded gratitude. So this week I am having to let an agent go on our team because we have a standard, and my gratitude is to those agents that meet that standard, and that we have some really hardworking people on this team, and the culture that we have is phenomenal, and I'm not willing to jeopardize it over one person who doesn't want to work as hard. So I'm grateful for the standard, because I would have, in past years of running teams, I would have just let it be, and then that one person can spoil the culture that we already built and stuff like that. So my gratitude is culture, I think, is what I'm getting at, and just confidence in making tough decisions, because it's never fun to have those conversations.
Well, and again, if it's not a good fit, it's not a good fit. But having like my team, I mean, I like that everybody is just very focused on succeeding and just staying with it and doing those items that they need to do each day. So kudos to you. And again, it would be really tough if you got someone that's not doing that and just wanting to talk to you all the time and you're trying to get your work done. So
yeah, that's awesome. Anyone on Wes's team, anyone out of the Chattanooga office, you guys are extremely blessed to have the leaders that you guys have. I spent quite a bit of time with Wes And I'm really proud to say that he's a partner of mine.
All right, guys. Let you guys go. You guys have a great week and I will talk to you soon. Thanks.
Thanks. Bye, guys.